This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Mr. Poupart, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. I gotta get you some better lighting than that. Find a better spot.
Yeah, what the hell is that, bro?
Oh, come on now.
Are you in
my art director's on vacation? So
okay, are you home or okay? No, you are.
I'm at home. I'm not in Mobile.
Okay, so you're in a different room today. You're giving us
a different room. Yes.
Okay, you're giving us a different look today. Okay,
yes.
All right. So
okay, how's this?
Much better lighting. See, look at that. You know, he's got a future in lighting. What the hell's he doing writing? He should be in lighting, not writing. I mean, look at that. PLG, Channel 10, Fox, Warner Brothers. You have your
offers
director right there, man. Look at that. Look at that, man. That is strong on your part.
I will entertain any and all offers.
You're shedding light like Flo is on the NFL.
Yeah, there you go. Nice metaphor.
All right, so we have now seen the crazy developments here. Hugh Jackson has chimed in. This is going to last forever, right? This is one of these things that's going to drag on and going to be a cloud over this team for a long, long time to come.
More than likely, but I mean, it's not like this team's not used to having clouds hanging over, is it?
No.
Yeah, but no, that kind of lawsuit with all that's in there, yeah, it's not going to be resolved tomorrow or next week. That's for sure.
And I think I mean, if Flo is, you know, if he's committed to this, there's no way he's settling, right? I mean, this is. I heard his lawyer say, well, this is going to be more than just about a check, but he still included the word check in there. So there's going to be a check involved, but if he's really serious about this, it has to be about some type of change that he's going to try to force, correct?
Correct. And then he said that, in fact, the lawyers also have said, they're not settling. And they've also said that even if he does land one of the 4 remaining jobs that are open, well, I guess 3, because I'm guessing the Dolphins are not rehiring him. So if he does land one of those 3 remaining jobs, the lawsuit is still on the books. And dude, the guy's not wrong in terms of what the problem is and what he's looking to change, but I'm not exactly sure what it's a very obvious problem without a clear solution, because ultimately, can you really tell an owner you've got to hire this particular person?
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Thank you for at least having that common sense, because some people don't get that. It's like some guy was like, oh, we stand for it. And I'm like, stand for it, dude. You stand in line for it. You pay tickets. You pay hats and jerseys. You don't change. Ray Rice can beat a woman, and there are women outside with free Ray Rice jerseys and signs. They're Teflon, and they know they're Teflon, and they can get away with this kind of stuff. So how do you force these owners unless we see what's happened in basketball, correct? Where the faces of the owners are changing, and that they all don't look the same color, and they all don't have the same sex, and you know what I'm saying? And there's been diversity in that league. This is the league that has had no diversity at the top. That's the problem.
And you completely nailed it right there. It's like every single solitary owner is, there's not one black owner. So
there's no Latin owner. There's no, and there's no Asian. Although Shad Khan,
correct,
right?
The only one.
The only one. Mm-hmm. Only one. And he's got Jacksonville.
Right.
He doesn't have New York, LA, or Chicago.
But they look like they were on the verge of hiring. Supposedly they were on the verge of hiring Byron Leftwich, and all of a sudden it's fallen by the wayside from all reports, because he wants to hang on to Trent Baalke as his GM, when everybody in Jacksonville is saying that's a complete abomination to keep that guy around.
Everybody in the NFL knows Trent Baalke, bro. Why would you, after everything that happened in San Francisco, why would you want to hire Trent Baalke? How does that guy still get jobs? That's the amazing part to me about Trent Baalke.
Forget hiring him. You're basically hanging on to him at the cost of a potential head coach you want. I mean, that's weird.
It's the weirdest thing, dude. I give him credit, bro, because somehow or another he stays employed and is stealing money and doing a great job at it, bro. I got to give him credit. Now, my gut tells me that Flo is not lying about the 100K, but brother, where he's got to have the proof, right? I mean, this has got to be, if it's a he said thing, he's done because although, I mean, are the people that were there in that circle, whoever it was, are they going to be willing to perjure themselves? How far is this thing going to go? But I got to think that if he said this, it's not like he was just throwing stuff out there. There's got to be some truth to this.
No, and if having been around Flores for 3 years, yeah, I'd be tempted to think, and it's not the kind of accusation.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, kind of not the kind of accusation you make. Specifically, if he was going to make it up, why did he throw out $100,000, and why not a different figure amount? Now we have the Cameron Wolf report as well, saying that he's spoken to somebody, to a witness who heard Ross make the offer. Obviously, it's more powerful if you have some kind of a text or an email or something. Although, I mean, no offense to anybody out there, but you have to be some kind of dumb to make an offer like that in writing.
Yes, you would have to be. See, the problem we have here is with Ross going to try to lure Harbaugh when he had Sperano. That's what opens the door to make it believable for Ross. Like, okay, well, dude, he did go to Harbaugh when he had Sperano in place, so he would do shady stuff like this, and that's kind of the whole thing. That it's almost a guilty by association type of thing that falls with Ross. Now, I've said this, Alan. I think the NFL is going to galvanize itself with the Dolphins, and if there's any truth with Cleveland, because instead of going after these teams, I think it's more important for them to protect them like they did Washington, because, and, Snyder. So I almost feel like the Dolphin fan that thinks this might lead to freeing yourself of Ross, I think actually it might end up being the opposite. The NFL may not want to know the truth because it's more important to protect the shield than to protect the Dolphins or Washington logos.
Protect the shield. Unless, and let me throw something out there, and this is just, again, throwing an idea out there. Unless NFL owners decide they'd rather throw Stephen Ross under the bus to keep focus away from anybody else, from any other.
But they save Snyder. Ross is not
maybe. But here's the thing, though. Ask yourself, among NFL owners, do you think they would be more troubled by what Stephen Ross is accused of, or by Daniel Snyder and the vile emails and the?
Yeah. Snyder doesn't affect them. Ross affects everyone. Correct. No, you're right. You're right, dude. Yeah. No. Yeah. You're wrong about Alex Smith playing better in Kansas City than San Francisco, but that you are completely right.
Surprised it took you long. And I never said he played better. I said he played. I don't even want to revisit that, but I'm surprised it took you that long to bring it up.
Well, I had to bring it up because you were right about this. So, I gotta give you love when you're right, and then obviously we gotta correct you when you're wrong.
Keep me humble. There you go.
That's right. That's what we got to do. That's what I think is happening with Flo. He's going to get mighty humbled in all of this. Do you the people that may join the lawsuit are just coaches that are completely out of it, right? That's the thing. They're not going to get anybody really that's active or has a future or anything like that in the NFL. I just don't see those kinds of coaches standing next to Flo in this case, correct?
Agree, unless maybe it's somebody toward the end of his career who would be like, you know what, if that means the end for me, this is bigger than that. That type of coach, I'm struggling to.
Caldwell.
Very good. Very good.
67, the health thing looks like the age and the health thing. I think you're the one that brought it up last week that the Carrolls and the Belichicks were hired younger. They got older as they were already.
Yeah.
Was that you that said that last week?
Yes.
And so, which is a great point. Again, you were right. And you're still wrong about Alex Smith.
Okay.
But in this case, you're right, because maybe that's the whole Caldwell thing. It's the age. And, if we hired you at 57 and you were here 10 years with us and now you have a little bit of health issues, hey, we'll hang on to you and all of that. But in this case, yeah, maybe a guy like that could join it if he felt that he was treated in that sense.
Let's just say the margin for error to land a head coaching job is a lot bigger, if you have the right pigmentation.
Oh, yeah. Please. Of course. It took Tony Dungy forever. Marvin Lewis, it took him forever to get the head coaching job that he got in Cincinnati. We were talking about Marvin Lewis for years, dude, before he got the job. So, yeah, no, I can't disagree with that. That's 100% accurate on that.
And he's another one. I'm sorry, Big O. And he's another one. Why hasn't he gotten a second shot? I understand he reached a plateau in Cincinnati after making the playoffs for several years. And
Does
I would
Zach
tell
Taylor
you,
make him look bad? Because he never won a playoff game, and here's Zach Taylor in the Super Bowl.
Well, Andy Dalton, Joe Burrow. That's my answer to that.
Because he had Carson Palmer, dude. Didn't he? Didn't he have Carson Palmer?
No, you're right. Didn't he have
Carson
both?
Palmer? He had Carson Palmer. Yeah, he had some pretty good teams with Corey Dillon and no, not Corey Dillon. What's it called? Chad Johnson and TJ Houshmandzadeh, and they had some. I mean, they had some guys that were shady, but they actually could play ball. I mean, see, the thing is, Sam Weish made the Super Bowl, and now Zach Taylor makes the Super Bowl, and both in Cincinnati with the same clown owner. And yet the guy in the middle, Marvin Lewis, made the playoffs several times, but never even won a game. It's got to be an indictment on him, dude.
No, it is. But again, unless I'm going crazy or senile or a combination of both, which is entirely possible, I could have sworn it was Andy Dalton who was his quarterback. Because I always
yes. But yeah, I think he had the back end of.
He may have had Palmer for a little bit, but because I always looked at Cincinnati every year, and I'm like, man, that team is stacked. If they had a quarterback, they'd win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but they didn't. So, but again, though, can we not argue that there have been white coaches who have had not nearly as much success?
Yeah, no. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying it just kind of falls on him that he didn't win a playoff game. You got to, if you go to the playoffs a few times, you got to win one of them at least. You know what I'm saying?
Marty Schottenheimer. Yeah.
Damn, dude, they fired Marty Schottenheimer 1 year after he won 13 games.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, young people may not remember that because they weren't around, but for those of you, go look at it. Marty Schottenheimer got fired 1 year after 13 games, and everybody's looking around going, huh? Like, Marty Schottenheimer was a damn good coach.
Great regular season coach.
Yeah, he never got teams over the top. That was his problem.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was like, yeah, Marty Schottenheimer is a great coach until you get to the playoffs. It was one of those. It was one of those deals. All right, the Mike McDaniel thing.
Yep.
Have you heard anything? Is it going to hurt anything? Because tomorrow is his second interview. From everything I hear, that's the guy. If they didn't get Dable, Mike McDaniel was the guy. So, does it still look like that's the target for you? What do you hear?
Oh no, it's still the target. And from what I hear, yes, he's still on board. He may ask pointed questions during the interview and not like the answers, and then decide, you know what? Because it's not like he has a bad gig with the 49ers. No, I'm serious. And that's the same.
I know you're right. And he'll get another great offer next year. And he'll stay with that team, and it'll have another great year next year. I get what you're saying.
And it's the same with Kellen Moore. This is not the last time that Kellen Moore has a shot. So he may interview again. I have not heard of him having an interview scheduled, though the reports were that he was supposed to talk to the Dolphins this week. Again, if I'm Kellen Moore and his agent, damn straight they're going to ask about this lawsuit and everything that's involved with that.
In other words, he can do a Josh McDaniel to Cleveland. That when Cleveland was interested, McDaniel said, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I'm staying here for now. And because he had it good in New England, he's like, no, I'll wait for another opportunity. And now he got his opportunity.
Correct. We're not looking at two guys who are not going to have other coaching opportunities if it's not this year. So, and again, if Kellen Moore decides to go back to Dallas, are we really expecting that offense to to flop next season? I don't think so.
No.
Same with San Francisco. And here's one thing about Mike McDaniel. I don't want to say that concerns me because everything and everybody.
Young coach. It should everything about a young coach.
Well, no, but here's the thing is because his area of expertise is the run game. Okay. And everybody talks about what a genius is, smartest guy in the room and all that. But you look at the stats, and if this guy is supposedly a genius in the area of the running game, why is it that San Francisco's ranking in the NFL in yards per carry average during McDaniel's 5 years there has been in the top 10 once, and it was 9th. And if you do the composite, the average ranking is 14th in the NFL. So that kind of, I don't know, concerns me a little bit, because if he's supposed to be like a genius expert at his field, you would expect, I mean, if he was like in the top 5 every year,
right, I
would certainly give me a lot more confidence. Now, having said that,
the only thing I will say is they don't really have a stud back, right? It's always a
committee.
Yeah, it's always a committee. It's always guys that are solid, but not real stars. And so I wonder, maybe do they have kind of also a half-ass approach to the running game, that they don't really commit to getting a stud there. They just get serviceable guys, and they feel that their blocking scheme will make it good enough so they can play off of that with the pass game. I don't know.
Do we know another team like that?
I know where you're going. That's somebody was trying to do that here.
No, yeah. and no, you make a valid point, because if you look back at their drafts recently, I don't believe they spent a high pick on a running back.
No, they don't.
The Dolphins, because we know that. I'm talking about the 49ers.
No, I know.
What they've done is they've built up like a bitch of a front seven on defense, and their offensive line is pretty solid, and they lucked out in being able to make the trade for Trent Williams. But again, having said that, because you make the point that he didn't work with great running backs.
Mostert and those kind of guys they're all right, but they're not.
But unless the Dolphins may have a change of philosophy, that's what he's going to be working with in Miami.
Oh no, that'll change now. I can tell you that. Oh, you'll see a back in the top 3 rounds this year. Watch.
Okay.
Watch. Okay. They'll have an extra pick. Remember, X will get traded, so they will have extra picks in the top 3 rounds.
And then it
won't be just the ones they have now. They will have an extra pick this year and probably next year, thanks to the X trade in the offseason. You will see a running back, I believe, on this team in this draft. I believe that. That will be my.
Given my experience with the Dolphins, I'll believe it when I see it. I think the last one, Kenyon Drake, was a 3rd-round pick. Before that,
wasn't he 4th? Oh, he was a 3rd?
He was a 3rd-round pick.
Okay, I thought he was
2016. That was the year X was a 2nd-round pick.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Exactly. Yes.
Yes. Can't even remember. For some reason, I failed to remember the last time they picked a running back in one of the first 2 rounds.
And Kenyon Drake was a solid pick, man.
Yep.
It ends up being a solid pick. I mean, they didn't end up using him the way they should, but I mean, he's always proven to be a good player. So he helps out wherever he goes. Arizona, Raiders, and Miami, whenever he got opportunities. That's the weirdest thing, dude. That kid's never, wherever he goes, they never say, all right, you're the guy. You're going to get more carries than everybody else. It never happens. It's like there's few moments where he'll get a lot of carries in a game, and then he'll have a great game, and you're like, well, why isn't this happening more often? It's weird.
Yeah, I kind of always looked at him as an absolutely great number 2 back. I don't know if I ever saw like feature back, but as a number 2 back, I mean, damn.
I just would like to see if he can be a 1. But you're right. He's a great number 2 back. That's what he's proven in this league. He's an awesome number 2 back. But I would love to see him just get one opportunity there, man. All right.
Not happening in Oakland with Josh Jacobs around.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. So
sorry, did I say Oakland? Vegas. Sorry.
Vegas.
Wow.
So you expect the McDaniel announcement by Sunday before Super Bowl week starts? Because I don't think they want to wait till next Monday or the week of making it. It's Friday, and then announce it within the next day or 2, right?
Correct. Well, I mean, that's what logic says, but again, logic and this situation doesn't really necessarily go hand in hand. So,
all right. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL, and catch his work there at Sports Illustrated. Lock it down, bookmark it. You will love it. Always great reading. He's producing about 46 articles a day. So you probably won't be able to read everything he writes. Alan, thank you, my brother. We'll catch you next week.
Have a great weekend.
You too, baby. There you go. Alan Poupart and our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.